All right, we have a fun project coming up. I got this barrel from my brother who won it at some raffle. It is a genuine whiskey barrel. The scent has pretty much dissipated. I don't know if I can get that out with my bare hands or not, but we took our kids to Williamsburg, Virginia, and it was an amazing trip, and it was so fun, and we learned a lot. And one of the things that I was, of course, the most interested in seeing was their gardens, because everything that they did was true to the time. And while we were there, we saw a strawberry planter made from a wooden barrel, and we loved it immediately. So what they did was they took a barrel just like this, and they drilled holes all around it, and then they filled it with dirt and would plant the strawberries all over the holes. And I'll put a picture in here. But it was beautiful, and I loved the idea. And I know that people have made strawberry planters out of like a plastic rain barrel and things like that. And while it can be food grade, I know plastic breaks down over time, and I'm gonna be honest, this just looks beautiful to me too. And another thing that they did too was they took the top off and they just planted a whole bunch of strawberries in the top. Now, a lot of people that have done this will take terracotta pots. So if my hands are terracotta pots, they would glue the rims and stack them on top of each other and then water straight down the holes. I'm going to try putting a water system in here that's a PVC pipe. A couple of reasons. One, it's cheap. Two, it's not gonna break like terracotta pots will. I think terracotta is beautiful, but it's fairly fragile. And especially if you think about this entire barrel being filled with dirt, eventually it's gonna crack and break. And then I'm just gonna have a sunken in center of my barrel, forcing me to dig the whole thing out to be able to put it back in appropriately. So I want this to last a long time. I have never done this before, but this is me showing you how and what I did to make a strawberry planter out of an old whiskey barrel, and my feedback on it and how well it works. And I know this is going to be beautiful. This is going to go right on the other side right here, and it's going to be a nice height for us to just walk up to it and be able to slightly lean down and pick strawberries all over without it being so low to the ground. And it will also allow for more runners to be planted. I'll probably, in the beginning, I'll have more holes than I'll have strawberry plants, but as more runners develop here on the top, I can pluck them out and put them in different holes and fill it in. So let's see how this goes. Since we're on the subject of my strawberry plant, I figured we'd take a look at it. I just got done spreading DE all over my Shasta daisies and my climbing roses because June bugs have just been attacking them. But this, oh my gosh, some of these are so ripe. I'm gonna eat some of these right now. These are truly like some of the best, most sweetest strawberries I've ever had. Those two I'm gonna give just another day to. I like them really red. Nice and dark. But yeah, there's several that look good. Down here we can see, like, here's a plant, here's a plant, here's a plant. There's another one right next to it right here. Another one, another one. There's one here, and like two right here, and another one here and here. I've lost count. There's so many. So we have lots of little strawberry plants, and all of this came from one plant that my neighbor gave me, and I literally wanted it. I wasn't planning on getting it that day, but she was like, here, dig this up and take it. And I did. And I just stuck it in the ground right here. And I've literally done nothing to it. I didn't mound it up. I didn't fertilize it. I just let it go. And so far I'm pleased. So I'll end up, and you can see some of the June bugs came over here and did a little bit of damage on these, which I'm very upset about. But anyways, yeah, we're going to dig these up once the barrel is ready. divide them up, and enjoy our new planter. And then that will ensure that this is a safer space for them too, because I believe a rabbit or something came and helped themselves to a few strawberries at one point. So elevating it will get it away from ground critters too. Okay, it's evening time and I'm in my Christmas jammies in July for no apparent reason. And I'm working on the strawberry barrel. Now I did an awful job of keeping this like a concise collective video, but what we have done, and I'm sharing it still because I feel like it's worth sharing, okay? So I've got an old whiskey barrel. My husband came through and drilled 2-inch holes all the way around, and I dug up, this is only part of my strawberries. I dug up my strawberries. I'm splitting them and poking them in the holes. In the bottom of this, my husband did drill 1 2-inch like drainage hole. I filled up to like here below the first set of holes with gravel so that it would drain well and that the barrel would last as long as possible. Then we put this PVC pipe down. I believe this is 1 inch, and we below the soil line we have drilled holes all the way through, and we will cut this off just slightly above soil line so that we can pour water down the top, and then it will seep out through the holes and water the strawberries further down without us having to nearly drown the ones on the top. Little plants that are even this big are not that big around, so I just stuff the roots in first, put this in, and then I take a small little handful full of soil and I pat it on the top to make sure it's not at risk of falling out. So let me plug this one in while we're here. Okay, so I'm gonna put this one right here, and I just kind of preliminarily poke my fingers through, make sure that I'm giving it a good outlet in, and then I'm gonna take the roots in first, and I just push it in the hole. You can see it's a little bit loose, and I don't want it to fall out, and I want those roots to establish themselves well. So I'm going to take a little handful of soil, and then I'm just going to kind of come in here and tuck it in, and now it's in there and it's nice and happy. So then the plants that are really big at the base, I just planted this, so I'll just pull it out. This is one plant and it is quite wide. That's not gonna fit. So I'm planting those up at the top, and we're gonna keep those up here. So I'm gonna keep working on what's in this bucket, and then I'm gonna grab the rest of them and plug in all the holes. I am very excited about this. All right, this area is where all of the strawberries were. I've got the last of it in this pot. Let me tell you the coolest part about this. Okay, this feels so comical to me. I'm like drenched. The sun is setting. I am doing this, I don't know if I said this, I am doing this very late in the evening, right before the sun sets, to get them in at the coolest part of the day and let them be in their new home overnight. I did water the top of the soil really well and let all of the dirt kind of sink, and then run water down through that middle pipe for quite a while to try to get all of it to soak through and make a nice damp habitat for the strawberries to come into. The coolest part about this though is that last year my neighbor said, hey, I've got this random strawberry plant under my deck. I don't want it, you would love it. Will you come dig it up? And I was like, absolutely. And at the time, I had nowhere to put it. I just dug a hole and stuck it in the ground and thought, this will probably kill it. I don't have one of those fancy strawberry planters. I don't have a bale of hay. I see people planting them in hay. This is gonna go bad, but it was free. And I dug a hole and it just took off and it kept multiplying. And then the barrel was a gift from my brother. So this whole project has been a labor of love and a gift of love. So I think that's just really cool, and it makes it extra special for me. All right, so this is it. This is the finished product. Got everything planted up. Every hole is plugged. And then some of these that were starting to make new runners, I just put them in the top so that they'll make even more. So yeah, whenever I want to water it, I'll just squirt the hose. I'll put it on stream because it's not actually hitting any of the plants, and I'll put it right down here And like I said, there's holes drilled, and we're just gonna come through here and cut this pipe off at the base of the soil, a little bit above, so that soil doesn't come up and over. But this is it. I love it. Okay, some final thoughts about this barrel planter. We did not opt to take the bands off to get the top out of the center. Oh, look, do you see right there? There's a little strawberry. So even after transplant, yes, we have some shock here, some leaves that look rather sad, but also some that look very healthy. We chose to just cut into the top. So we have a little lip here where the top was, and we just chose to cut a circle into the top rather than try to take the bands off, because for one, we really didn't have the right tools to do it. And we didn't want to buy them, but we also just didn't trust ourselves to be able to get the barrel back together in just the right way to keep the structural integrity sound. And it just seemed like a whole lot more work than cutting a circle out of the top. I still need to cut this pipe off to about here so that it sticks up out of the soil, so it's not just filling with soil, but it's not totally sticking out either. I had enough to plug every hole. It is in shock a wee bit. That happened when I first got the strawberry plant from my neighbor, and I planted it in the ground, and then it just absolutely took off. So I love the way this looks. So far, everything is going splendid. We are not having any issues with it. I am really happy that I went with the PVC pipe down the center. It also makes it super easy just to stick my hose in the top and water it. And then I'm not worried about it collapsing and not having a way to water in the center. So everything there is just going spectacular. I love the way it looks. And then I love that in the top where I have all the mother plants, I will be able to take runners from there and give them away, or even fill a raised bed with more strawberries, because we never have any in the house. They never make it to the house. We always eat them out here. But I'm very happy with this. It looks gorgeous. My husband says that you will hurt your wrist drilling holes in the side. That is really thick. Let me stick my finger in there and see. Okay, so the wood is as thick as the top of my finger. So that's how far in he had to drill. And it kept spinning on him. So his wrist was quite sore for a few days after he got done doing that. So be ready to use some elbow grease there. But otherwise, so happy we did this. It looks gorgeous. And it's a nice, tall, efficient way to grow and pick our strawberries.